Hi guys, welcome to Mr. Cloudbook channel. In this particular video, we are going back to our 90s and we are playing the Super Mario game on our EKS cluster. So while we are learning the concept and we are going to play the game at the end of the video. I am going to deploy this application onto EKS and the EKS is provisioned by the Terraform. Actually this project was done by this guy Ajay Nair. So on the Medium I found his blog and I made a similar changes in the blog and created a new image for this particular Super Mario, but I copied his content as well. So I complete credits to this guy Ajay Nair. So I am using the Terraform files to provision the EKS cluster, and this is my blog, and you can see deploying Super Mario on Kubernetes, simple one. We need an Ubuntu instance, IAM role. I am going to explain everything clearly. Meanwhile I will explain the Terraform files as well, so what we are going to provision with that files and everything. So we need the AWS CLI and kubectl on our EC2 instance. So to do this project, first we need an Ubuntu instance. Let's go to our AWS, and this is my AWS console. I am clicking on EC2. So sorry for the disturbance of the background. Okay, you have to click on launch instance to launch an EC2 instance, and for the name you can provide any name. Just I am providing name as the Mario, so that is enough. And I am selecting the Ubuntu because I provided the commands for the Ubuntu instance only, the scripts and everything. That's why I am selecting the Ubuntu. And you have to, if you want to select the Amazon Linux, you have to change the commands in the script.sh file, and I will explain the script.sh file also. And I am just using the T2 micro, that is enough for the free tier eligible. And key pair, you have to select the existing key pair you have, and existing security group. So I am open 80 port and 2020 and 443. For learning purpose I opened all port also. And for the storage, and you can increase up to 12 GB, and 8 GB is also enough. So just click on launch instance. This will launch an EC2 instance, and come back to instances. It will take minimum 20 to 30 seconds to come up to the running state. And let's come back to the blog and see, we have the steps as well here to launch the Ubuntu EC2 instance. I already mentioned here, so 8 GB is also enough for this particular volume. And for the micro instance type, we have to select the T2 micro, that is also enough. Second step, we need to create an IAM role after creating this particular EC2 instance. So we are going to attach this particular IAM role to our EC2 instance to provision EKS cluster from that EC2 instance. So come back here and just refresh, and this is the instance. So select the instance and you can click on this connect, and we can connect it from here directly, EC2 instance connect, or you can directly copy this SSH client. So I am copying this client, and you can use the mobile extreme putty or anything fine. So I am using the terminal here and pasting the command, and enter, and provide as for the fingerprint. So let me clear the screen, and how to update the system once it's connected by providing sudo apt update. It will take some time. So now we need to create an IAM role. Search for IAM here in the search bar, or you can directly click on services, or you can search from here, and you can click on IAM here. And in the left side panel you have to click on roles, and if you have any existing roles, you can keep them or you can delete them. I am going to create a new role, so click on create a new role. Select the entity type as AWS service. For the use case you have to select the EC2, and you can select the use case also again EC2, and click on next. And for the policy, I am going to attach this particular administrator access for the learning purpose only. So but in the organizations you are going to provide the particular required permissions only, permission policies. So for this particular project you can use the EC2 full access and EKS full access, and click on next, but I am using the administrator access, and you can provide the name as Mario or anything you want, and you can come down and click on create role. So this will create an IAM role. So the role was created, and again you can come back to EC2, and from the search bar you can search EC2 and click on EC2. So select the instances running, and select this particular instance that we are using, so the Mario one. So and you have to click on actions, and you have to click on security, and you need to click on modify IAM role, and just refresh. And if you click on this drop down, you can see that we created a Mario role that is appeared here. So select that one, and you have to click on update IAM role. So the role will attach to this particular EC2 instance, and you can see I provided the images also. You have to search here and click on roles, and you have to click on these roles and create role and entity type as well, and I am selecting the administrator access. I provided the same name as Mario, and the role is created. And to attach to EC2 instance, you have to follow these steps. So you have to click on action, security, modify IAM role, and you need to select the drop down as a Mario and select the role that you created, and you have to click on update as well. So for the step 3, we have to download or clone the repository. So this is the repository KTS Mario, and you can see here on my GitHub repository as well, and this is the KTS Mario we are using. So these are the EKS TF is the Terraform files folder, and these are the deployment script files and service.yml files. And just code, copy this and come back to your terminal or mobile extreme. Just clone the repository, git clone and enter. So you have to provide this particular URL of the repository KTS Mario, and if you provide ls, and you can see the repository was downloaded KTS Mario. So if you change the directory into the KTS Mario, and you can see the files. So this is the Terraform folder and deployment script.sh. So the script.sh doesn't have any executable permissions as of now, and if you provide ll, enter, and you can see script.sh doesn't have any executable permissions. So by providing the chmod, so +x script.sh and enter, and if you provide ll again, and you can see we have the executable permissions now, x and x and x for everyone. Clear the screen, and if you provide cat script.sh, and you can see this script will install the Terraform. So we are going to provision the EKS with the Terraform, right? That's why we are going to use the Terraform. Next we are going to download this particular installing the particular kubectl. So we are going to apply the commands right in the EKS. So we are going to provide kubectl apply -f, and we need to see the pods running, what are the deployment and everything. So we require this kubectl, that way we are installing the kubectl as well, and we need to update this AWS configuration for the Kubernetes EKS cluster. That's why we require the AWS CLI as well. So that's why we are downloading the AWS CLI, and finally it will tells that installation completed successfully. This will provide the message after completing this complete 3 installation of Terraform, kubectl and AWS CLI, and clear the screen. And if you want to download the Docker also, if you provide sudo apt install docker.io -y, so this will install the Docker. So I already have the Docker installed 24.05, and clear the screen. And if you provide /script.sh, this will install the Terraform, kubectl and AWS CLI as well. And if you provide sh and script.sh, this will also install the same tools that we require for this particular project, and enter. And you can see we got the message also, installation is completed successfully. And clear the screen. So clear the screen, and if you provide AWS -version here, enter, and this is the CLI version 2.14, and enter. Terraform version as well, enter. So Terraform version is, I think it's 1.6.5, and finally we have the kubectl as well installed on the system by providing kubectl version -client is the command. We need to provide ENT, so it's typo, and this is the version for our kubectl 1.28, and clear the screen. And you can see the blog also, so the same commands I provided here. So change directory into KTS, and it's providing the executable permissions, and we are downloading the Docker with sudo apt, and this script will install the kubectl, AWS CLI and Terraform. And now we are going to change into this particular EKS Terraform folder to provision the cluster. So provide change directory into EKS, enter. So and if you provide ls here, these are the backend file and main.tf file, had provided.tf file. So you have to change this file only. So let me cat backend.tf file, and you need to change the bucket here. So whatever the bucket name you want, or on the S3 bucket you have to change the bucket name here. This will store the Terraform state file. So we are going to use this particular bucket to store our Terraform state file. And next, if you want to change any region, you can directly change the region from here in the backend file as well. And these are the changes you need to do. So you have to change the S3 bucket name, and if you want to change the region, you can change the region here. So that is the thing you have to do, and no need to worry about the main.tf file and provider.tf file. I will explain once these commands done. So it will take 10 minutes, right? So meanwhile I will explain those files as well. First we need to provide Terraform init. So this will initialize the backend. So Terraform is installed successfully. So clear the screen, and if you provide Terraform validate to see the code validation, so it will provide the code is good, and if you found any errors, it will tell the errors here itself. So the success, the configuration is valid. And again we need to see the plan also, Terraform plan. So this will shows what it will create, and the cluster and roles and everything. And you can see it's creating the 8 resources, 8 to add. It's creating the policy and attaching it to our EKS, to our cluster. So I will explain this everything once providing the apply command. So by providing Terraform apply -auto -approve, so this is the command. So enter. So this will provision the EKS cluster. It will take minimum 10 minutes to complete, and you can see it's creating the IAM role and everything. Meanwhile I will explain the code here. So let's go to the EKS TF and backend TF. Already explained, you need to change the bucket name here, and if you want to change the name of the region, you can change it here. So these are the two changes you have to made. And come back to EKS TF, and this is the main.tf file. So data, this will using the IAM policy attachments, so EKS service and everything. So a resource, it is creating the EKS cluster role, that for the cluster. So we are attaching the role as a Amazon cluster CI policy. This is the permission policy we are attaching to our role for the EKS cluster. And next we are going to collect the data, VPC data that I have in the particular AFP South 1 region. This particular block will collect the data from my VPC. So default VPC, only it will collect the default VPC data, and it will use the default VPC subnets as well. So cluster provision, so this is the cluster name, EKS cloud is the cluster name I am provisioning. If you want to change the name, you can change it here. And this resource will create the EKS cluster with this IAM role attached to it. The policy attachment is also working fine. So it's attaching this EKS worker node policy, and again creating the new policies for our node group. So this particular block will create the node group and attach these roles. So these resources, these permissions will attach it to our node group EC2 instances. So T2 medium, I am using the instance type for our node groups. So this will take some charge, minimum up to $0.50 I think so. So no need to worry about it, and it will complete within the 10 minutes. And if you want to play the game as well, you can use my image. So let me show it that if you come back to EKS TF, and we don't need to change anything in the provider.tf, and if you want to change anything, you can change it here. So the region only. So main.tf file will create the roles. Mainly the main.tf file creates the IAM roles that are required for the cluster and node groups, and finally it will create the EKS cluster and node groups from this particular main.tf file, and it will collect the default VPC settings and CIDR ranges and everything. So if you come back to K8s Mario, so if you go to the deployment.yaml, so I don't have any image here because I already my image in the Docker Hub I am using. So if you go my Docker Hub, So if you go here at the Ajay Nair brothers blog, and you can see here he is using the this particular image for the Mario game, but I have created my own image for my game, so the Super Mario game. So this is the image that I created 3 days ago, the game Mario 7 Ajay Mario. I am going to use this particular image name is 7 Ajay Mario and tag is latest. And these are the vulnerabilities. Docker recently released the Scout to scan your complete images, so I will made a dedicated video for the Docker Scout also, and you can see here if you want to make scan the images, it will show this like Scout image analysis is active. So let me use this one 7 Ajay and Mario for this particular deployment.yaml. And if you want to use this one from the Ajay Nair file, so that is also fine, and you will get the same output. So let's come back here. It will take some time, and you can see here EKS cluster is created after 6 minutes. And if you come back to AWS console and search for the EKS and enter, so Elastic Kubernetes service, and this is the EKS cloud that is created right now, and you can see the time also created 9 minutes ago. And you can use this particular Terraform files to provision the EKS cluster on any environment in the AWS, and you can use this particular files for any project as well. So it will provision the EKS cluster with the T2 medium with I think it's one, it will create one node. And you can see the images I provided, validate and plan everything, commands auto approve. So it's completes after almost in 10 minutes, so we have to wait for the 10 minutes. So why we download the AWS CLI, so we need to update the kube configuration, that's why we require AWS EKS. So just copy, this is the cluster name, so EKS cloud. If you change the name anything inside your main.tf file, you need to change it the name here also, and if you change any region there, and you need to change the region also. And come back here, and you can see the cluster is created after this is completed in 3 minutes, and this is completed within the 7 minutes. It's totally completely 10 minutes it's created. And clear the screen, and if you come back here, so let's copy this command, and you can paste the command here and enter. So the name EKS cloud, I use it from here, you can see this is the name for our cluster. And if you come back to clusters, so this is the cluster name I am using. It's created in the Mumbai region, AP South 1, so that's why I am using the same region and the name. So if you change any name for your cluster, you need to change the name here and the region as well. We are going to apply this deployment file and service.yaml file to play the game and to deploy it onto the EKS cluster. And if you provide ls, and you can see we don't have the files inside our Terraform directory, so we need to come back by providing cd double dot. I already provided commands here, no need to worry about. You need to come to cd double dot here, and if you provide ls here, and you can see the deployment.yaml file, but I don't have the image updated, I think. So let's go inside, and in the image section I didn't provide any name. You can see here I provided the as image, so insert mode and update the name as 7 Ajay / Mario latest is the image name, exit and wq, enter. And by providing kubectl, let me come down, you can clearly see the command kubectl apply -f deployment.yaml and enter. So the deployment is created now, the Mario deployment is created, and clear the screen. And if you provide kubectl get all, it will show the deployments as well. So and pod Mario, so we created the 2 pods, and if you see here, and we are using the 2, that's why I am getting the 2 pods here in the cluster here. So for the deployment I have the 2 pods running open finally, and I don't have this service. This is the default service from the EKS cluster. When we launch provision the EKS, we will get this one defaultly. Deployments are 2 by 2, both are up and running in the states. Replica sets are also in the desired, current and ready, both are in ready state. and we need to apply the service.yaml to expose the Mario game to our load balancer, and cat the service.yaml. we don't want to change anything, enter, and we are using the type as a load balancer here. So clear the screen, kubectl apply -f service.yaml, and before applying it I want to show the EC2. Come back to EC2. I don't have any load balancers up and running. So once applied the kubectl apply service.yaml, you can see that there are a load balancer is present inside our AWS as well, and you can see no load balancers. This is the region AP South 1 I am right now, and if I apply it, enter, so service is created, and if you come back to here to the AWS console and if you refresh, it's created a load balancer for our system. So these are the commands you need to use to apply the service YAML. If you provide kubectl get all, you can see the service as well, kubectl get all. Last time we have the default service, but we get the another service now. So this is the service we are getting right now, load balancer type with 80, and clear the screen, and we can describe the service as well by providing this particular command here, kubectl describe service. I don't have the command here updated, but we can use this particular command from here, kubectl describe service Mario service is the name, enter. So this is the command. I will update this particular command to describe the service. This is the load balancer increase. Just copy this command, right click and copy it, open a new tab and paste it here and enter. So it will take some time. So this is the game output of the game, and we can play the game. This is the level 2. This is level 3, I mean 1 by 3. This is the level 1 by 4. So this is the output of the game, and we played the almost 4 levels, so everything is working fine, and we deployed it onto the EKS cluster, and you can use this image to run directly on the Docker hub. That is also working fine. Like if you provide Docker run -d name as anything you want, -p port 8080, expose it to 80 and provide the 7 as I will make it to the public the image as well, and you can use it for in the Docker hub as well. And if you want the complete repository with a Docker file and everything, so make sure to share the video and make the video more popular. I will share the GitHub repository source code completely in the upcoming days as well. I hope you learned how to browse in the EKS from the Terraform and deploy the game. So let's destroy the complete game as well, like how to deploy the service, how to delete the deployment and everything. So this is the command to delete the service, and we need to see the first of all clear the screen. Oh sorry, it's exited. Let me connect again and clear the screen. And if you provide a kubectl get all, sorry, let me come into the root first of all, maybe that is the error. Kubectl get all, enter, sorry, all, enter. So this is the service name, Mario service. Just copy it, right click, copy, clear the screen, and kubectl delete service and provide the service name Mario service. So this will delete the load balancer. We have this load balancer right now, and after deleting it, and it will take some time, minimum 5 to 10 seconds to delete the service. Like it's a load balancer, right? So that's why it will take a minimum 5 to 10 or 15. So we have to wait for the service deletion. So that is done, and if you come back here and if you refresh, and you can see we don't have any load balancers now running in my region. So next we need to delete the deployment also by providing kubectl get deployments or all, anything fine. So we need to provide this particular name to delete the deployment. Right click and copy by providing kubectl delete deployment. So if you delete the service, we need to provide the service. To delete the deployment, you need to provide a kubectl delete deployment and name of the deployment and enter. So this will delete within the seconds because we are not having any load balancers, right? So that is done. And if you provide kubectl get all again, and we don't have the any services running, only the default service that we have. So now we need to delete the cluster as well. So we need to go to the EKS folder again. We need to go to the KS first, enter cd and EKS tf, enter ls. So if you provide let me clear the screen, Terraform delete the command is destroy. So before that let's come back to EC2 and it will create an EC2 instance. So I will show it, I forgot to show it before. And this is the T2 medium that we got from the cluster. Okay, so come back again and destroy auto approve commands and enter. So this will take minimum 12 to 13 minutes to destroy your EKS cluster and the node group and everything. So I will skip that part as well. So the cluster it's deleting the node group takes the almost 8 minutes 20 seconds, and the cluster will delete after minimum 1 minute, so almost 10 minutes. So the destroy is completed, and if you come back here to the console and search for the you can just refresh here, we can see that instance is gone, right? So if you go to EKS and enter, so or select this one, and we can go to the clusters, and we don't have any clusters, so everything is deleted. I hope you learned something new from this video. Thanks for watching the video and keep on supporting to the Mr. Cloudbook channel.